Morning, fellas.
What's up, man?
Happy Saturday.
Oh, it is a beautiful Saturday. Welcome to the Waterboys College Football pregame show. What is this? Is this week 9, week 8?
It's up there.
Week 9. My gosh.
Yeah.
So, a lot of things happening this morning. Beautiful college football Saturday. Unless you live where I live, and then it's this early Ole Miss Oklahoma game is going to be really muddy and gross.
It's been raining all day, all weekend?
It's rained since Friday night, since Thursday night, basically. It's just rained. So Ole Miss Oklahoma this morning is going to be a very interesting game. If you're tuning in either over on X, YouTube, or Facebook, we appreciate you very, very much. Welcome to the Waterboys College Football Show. Boys, let's kick it off this morning. Big questions. Not a lot of answers. Mr. Kiffin down in Ole Miss. Not only does he have a big game this weekend against Oklahoma, he's definitely going to play the best defense he'll play at any point this season. But he's also going to probably have to start answering the questions about Florida. Steve, now you sent something in our group chat of a rumored offer that Florida had made.
Yeah.
How big was that offer?
Pulling it up now. It says Florida's job offer to Lane Kiffin is reportedly worth $81 million over 6 years per Gatorbait Media. A whopping $13.5 million per year. And if that comes true and into fruition and happens, Kiffin would become the highest paid coach in college football history.
I mean, I guess what it comes down to, Strez, is if you're Florida, how bad do you want to be good again?
Yeah.
Do you spend that money on Lane Kiffin?
Yeah. That's also the question. Like, I feel like there are other really good options out there at head coach right now. And I don't necessarily know that Ole Miss is a job that you leave for Florida.
It's kind of, I mean, Florida's won national championships.
Right.
That's kind of, I think, what.
07 was their last one?
Yeah.
08? One of those 2
08.
years.
Wow.
Ohio State lost to both of those years, so that's the only reason I know those dates.
Beat by Tim Tebow one of those runs. So
I just texted you guys something in our group text. If any college football team wants to get the best coach on the market, just go ahead and get Miss Terry's contact info.
Take her to a nice dinner. Plenty of butter, probably. I don't know.
So I'll read it for our viewers. It's a picture of Nick Saban, and it's a quote from him recently saying, "I want to stay retired. I do not want Jimmy Sexton anywhere near Miss Terry because when she hears some of these numbers, she gets interested, and I'm not interested."
Yeah, I mean, I really think he's done. I think there's people. I think there's going to be schools over the next probably 5 years that think, we know he said no, but we're the school. He wouldn't say no to us. I think they're all wrong. I think he would say no to any of them in a heartbeat. I don't think he has any interest in coaching college football again.
You don't think he would take the Penn State job?
No.
It may depend on how big his honey-do list is.
Well, it's just commercials now is all it is. Commercials and college game day.
100%. Here's what I think, why I think he says no. I think people need to remember, like when Nick Saban got to LSU and when Nick Saban got to Alabama, those were rebuild.
Yeah.
That was 30 years ago. Like, this is not Nick Saban. It was in like his late 40s at LSU. Nick Saban's been around the block a couple of times since then. And trying to get a coach to come in on a rebuild, not only just a rebuild, but now he's got to come in, and Strez, you and I have talked about this. Now he's got to come in, and he's not only just got to be coach, but he's got to be GM, player personnel director. He's going to have somebody. He's going to have to, for the first time, have a person on his staff who's just responsible for making sure the guys get enough money to come back the next year, so they don't transfer.
He's not.
These are all things that were not in play when Nick Saban was at Alabama.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's essentially why he'd called it a day.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Exactly.
When he was like, I think I'm going to hang it up. And it's not like Bama was not, it's not like they were on a downswing. Bama was never on a downswing while Nick Saban was in town. So he definitely part of why he walked away was absolutely because of the way that college football was, the direction college football was heading with all of the NIL. There were few days off before NIL and transfer portal went crazy as a college football head coach, but now there are no days off. You are working 24/7, 365, 366 on leap years. Like you're never off.
And I can remember talking to a guy that coached in the NFL that I said, I can't remember, somebody, it might have been Mike McDaniel in Miami, that I was like, I think that guy would be a great college coach. And he said, unless they have no other option, no NFL head coach wants to go coach college. Because NFL head coaches have an offseason. They get vacation time. They have months of their life.
Yeah. They have someone else that has to worry about roster building.
Yeah. The most they're doing is looking at film at home. They're not like out on a PJ trying to catch a high school game in Allen, Texas, and then flying down to, Mississippi they're not doing that. They don't have to do that. Now, I will say I think having only one transfer portal, like shorten that transfer portal window up and shortening that signing day thing, I think that may help a little bit, because you're going to know by spring games what your roster actually looks like more. Yeah, but that's not going to change anything for most coaches. They're still recruiting like crazy. As far as Lane Kiffin of Florida, I do get it. I understand it. Like I get that is. He looks like a Florida guy. I mean, he outside of one other person that holds a very high office, he might be the most tanned individual I've ever seen in my life. That guy lives in a tanning bed.
And he wasn't their first pick. Did you guys see who Florida reached out to first? But I think he immediately pretty much turned him down. Marcus Freeman.
Marcus Freeman in Florida makes no sense to me.
Also, you can't leave Notre Dame to take a step backwards.
Yeah. And we all love Marcus Freeman. If you've never watched any of our content, we love Marcus Freeman. He's not a fun guy.
No, he's a football guy.
He's a
business guy.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, Steve. That guy looks like he showed up for a business meeting every day. That commercial they did with Shane Gillis, that is one of the most awkward things in the world, because Freeman wanted no part of doing that.
Oh, yeah, just watching him, he makes me want to get my ends trimmed and trim my mustache up a little bit, and run some sprints afterwards and just get my life together.
I bet he's not a coach that has to have the talks that probably Strez's college coach had to have, of like showing up on time, dress code.
Oh, yeah.
He's not one that has to have those talks.
No, I would be terrified of Marcus Freeman if I was a member of the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. I'm looking at Lane Kiffin's contract right now. It runs through December 31st, 2030, and it's worth $9 million a year. So
what is another few million a year? I mean, in reality, how does it change your life at all?
Well, Florida, there's no income tax.
Yeah.
State income tax.
And Tennessee.
So there's a plus there, but I mean, at the same time, now you're going to have to, Florida recruiting is my dad in the comments points it out, Florida money and Florida recruitability are far more attractive than Oxford, Mississippi. Don't disagree with you there, but at the same time, Florida isn't just having to out-recruit Florida State. Now Miami's back. USF is in the top 20. They have a massive game today against Memphis. UCF. Florida. Like, there are a bunch of Florida schools that you have to out-recruit and out-pay at this point.
Carter is down at Florida Atlantic as the GM. Like, Hall of Famer tight end Chris Carter is the GM at Florida Atlantic.
Yeah.
In charge of like player personnel and all that stuff. So it's tough. Now, I didn't put this on here and I don't know how I missed this. But there is one more other trending thing with Ole Miss, and I probably should have made sure with Lane Kiffin specifically. Can you boys imagine in the Sooner State just how mad they are at Lane Kiffin today for a few things that Lane Kiffin may have said in a press conference on Monday?
What'd he say?
Basically said that the reason Brent Venables' defense is so good is because he's the best in the business at sign stealing.
Oh, yeah. I had a long conversation with my dad about that this week. I'm like, is Ole Miss the only school in the country that doesn't use player-to-coach communication?
So
there are no signs anymore.
If you want to bypass all that, you just have to have a huddle. You got to have a huddle, call plays that way. You know, huddle up if you don't want nobody to steal your signs.
So I reached out to a coach and said, is this a known thing in college? Because I had to act upset about it this week when I was talking to some people. And they were like, yeah, everyone knows Brent does it. Everyone knows that Brent is the best at getting your signals. And I said, so what is it? They just said he's just good at it. It's a known fact. This is Brent Venables' thing. If you are getting your signals stolen, that's a very bad word to use because it's not stealing. They're not stealing your signs.
Everybody does it.
Everyone's doing it. Brent's just very good at it. And he said, Nick said it 5 years ago. Hey, if someone looks across the field and figures out what sign you have, that's on you.
Yeah, and I get it that Connor Stallions right now is kind of looked at like the fall guy and, of course, Michigan's program. But if you've not seen that new documentary that came out, a year or two ago about Connor Stallions and that whole Michigan ordeal on Netflix, it's a great watch. Highly recommend it because basically it exposes how all of college football does that, and there's a whole underworld that these people are in, and they talk to each other that work for different college football programs and share information, and it's been going on for a while. Connor's just a guy that got caught.
And he did it in a way that goes, okay, you get the guy that pays the price for all this because you decided to make this
make it weird.
Yeah, you decided to be weird about it.
You made it weird.
Put disguises on, going Western Michigan sideline. Like this is your fault.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen, Lane Kiffin, Kirby Smart, any of these other big coaches, if Brent Venables has your signs, that's on you. Change your live caller. I don't know what to tell you.
Gotta switch it up.
If he's going into a game now, if he's doing it in real time, if somehow Brent Venables is good enough that he's doing this in real time, like if by the second defensive series he's got you figured out, okay, I'm going to say now Brent Venables is the greatest defensive mind in college football history because he's some sort of Rain Man savant then.
I can just see the numbers just floating around his head when he's looking across the field at the other team's
beautiful
signs.
Mind, Russell Crowe. He's like, I got it.
Can that be our first Waterboys t-shirt? That would be pretty cool. A Rain Man savant.
There you go. Let's do
a picture of us three holding a cup of coffee in one hand and a football in the other hand.
Steve's camera just went crazy.
Hey.
All right, we got a few more. We got a lot of things that we're going to get to. Other than that, before we get to that, though, if you haven't yet, I love how this just goes straight over Stress's face. If you haven't yet, download Better. Use code WASH. Download the Better app and use code WASH. Most apps are really confusing, but this one is not. And Better is the first real microplay app. So instead of waiting for the whole game, you can lock in and play on every drive, every pitch, every moment. Super simple, no messy menus. Just swipe, make your pick, and you're in. New users get special picks and promos when they use our code. So download the Better app, BETR now, and use code WASHED. And they've got a bunch of extra stuff. If you're an NBA fan or a college basketball fan, They got a lot of promos that they're running right now, so make sure that you go check those out. All right. 2 guys coaching for jobs in very different situations today are playing each other. Because you've got Hugh Freeze and Bobby Petrino. So we're not picking this game, but Auburn plays Arkansas today.
What is going on here, Steve?
Steve is cracking me up.
Just his head. His whole face is filled up the entire.
Like, I don't know what happened.
I have a camera that is smarter than me, and I forgot when you move your hands, it makes it like zoom in and zoom out. Now I don't know which hand gesture to do.
Do you have to do like go in now?
I think so.
Like a phone?
Now I just look crazy because I've just been sitting here like.
Or is it your fingers?
Like I'm stealing signs over here. Oh yeah. Oh, Strez, you are the smartest man alive.
Hey, that's that Division II Midwestern Liberal Arts College that got me there. You're welcome.
Come on, baby, let's go.
Shout out Papa Strez in the chat for paying for it.
Oh, that's hilarious.
You're the man.
All right, so Hugh Freeze is having a rough year at Auburn. Arkansas had a rough year with Sam Pittman, so they went ahead and got rid of him and brought in the guy they really want to give this job to, Bobby Petrino.
And it's still rough.
Is Hugh fired yet? Like, I've been waiting on that news like to drop any day now. And Auburn.
I really thought Auburn once like this, hey, it's okay to fire your coach after week 4 started. I thought, oh, well, Auburn's going to fire you, Hugh Freeze.
Right.
So we got Hugh Freeze matching up against Bobby Petrino. Now, I will say Petrino did, as soon as they officially gave him the job at Arkansas as the interim coach, he fired like 8
everybody. It was you just cleaned house.
He was like, nah, I want this job real bad, so we're just going to get it. I think this is a tale of 2 schools in 2 different situations, though, because I think Auburn wants to get rid of Hugh Freeze. I think Arkansas wants – they're going to come up with every reason possible to keep Bobby Petrino as, announce him at the end of the season as the official head coach of Arkansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got 2 guys coaching for jobs in very different situations. Arkansas has yet to have an SEC win this season. And Hugh Freeze has been in several games. Auburn has been in several games where they had a chance to win, and they just can't figure out how to get one. Strez is the resident guy that grew up around Arkansas football even more than I did. Explain for the people how much Arkansas loves Bobby Petrino.
That was the last time the Razorbacks were relevant, was when Bobby Petrino was the full-time head coach for the program back in the mid 2000s, late 2000s. I can't even remember when it was when he ended up getting fired. But, I mean, there was one year where Arkansas finished number 3 in the country, and the only 2 teams ahead of them were both SEC teams, and it was like the prerequisite to get into the national championship game that year was you had to beat Arkansas.
Yep.
Because the only 2 teams that beat Arkansas were the 2 teams that made it in to the national championship. So Bobby Petrino has easily been one of the greatest coaches in Arkansas Razorback history. That being said, it hasn't changed much having him in there since they decided to can Sam Pittman. Not much has changed. Offense has started to score more points, which is weird. I mean, Bobby Petrino was always calling the offense in the first place, but I don't know. I think the coaching for the job for Bobby Petrino is he's going out there to perform for a school and a fan base that really wants it to work out, but I don't know that it is going to work out. There's something about it almost feels like the game has kind of passed him by a little bit because college football is so different from 15 years ago.
But what's
so
crazy,
different.
Him and Taylor Green seem to click though.
Yeah, I mean Taylor Green's awesome. Yeah, you would think it would make it work, and maybe it's a player personnel thing. Like they just don't have the talent on both sides of the ball to be able to keep up with some of the the upper echelon of the SEC. But I mean Arkansas lost to Memphis. Like there comes a point where you should be able to win games based purely off of talent and talent alone, whether you execute well or not. And Arkansas just doesn't seem to have it. And I think that's maybe where the issue lies. And maybe they do just say, all right, Bobby, we'll sign you to a 4-year deal. If you're not in college football playoff conversations by 2029, then we have to move on. We can't waste more time. But I just don't see it. I just don't see it working out like everybody wants it to work out.
Yeah, I mean, good Lord. Jeez Louise.
It kind of makes me wondering, like, maybe if they found like a good DC and go with that last option you just said and kind of maybe give Bobby a chance, maybe 2-3 years or something, see what happens. But I don't know. Him and Taylor Green, like I said, they seem to work really well together, and they're scoring points. That's why it's crazy to think they haven't beat an SEC team yet this season.
And it's not a shortage of like NIL money either, because Walmart's in your backyard, Tyson Chicken's in your backyard.
I mean, yeah,
Tyson Chicken's why Coach Calipari is the head coach of the Razorback basketball team.
And which brings me to my next point.
Sorry,
if
Steve.
If Mark Stoops can be in Kentucky for how many years now, and they haven't won an SEC game in about 3 or 4 years, brother. Give Bobby Petrino a chance, brother. I'm sure he can beat one next year, brother. Jesus Christ. We did beat Purdue last night against basketball. I'm excited about that.
And Kentucky's got Kroger money. So,
yeah.
I messed up, and we're about to talk about LSU, so I meant to download their team stats, and apparently there's a 26-page document about LSU football that I didn't need this. I just needed the first page, but I'll know no more about LSU by the end of the day than I need to. Here's where I feel a little bit bad for Hugh Freeze, because I've been through this. Jackson Arnold in camp looks like the second coming of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, in camp, he looked so good. You watch him, like his highlights, you're like, this is it. This is the guy. And then it's like every time that Jackson Arnold straps it up, it's like he's never played football. He looks like he can't figure it out. He looks confused. Arch Manning looks confused, but Jackson Arnold looks like he doesn't have a clue what's going on at all.
And they got a decent defense. You know, they kind of remind me of Kentucky a little bit when they played Texas the other weekend. Like, offense can't figure it out, but the defense looked pretty good. But, yeah, I mean, Auburn's got a really nice defense. It's like, why can't they get the offense humming? Makes no sense.
Well, and I don't know what they've got coming in that may buy Hugh another year, depending on who they've got coming in at quarterback. Obviously, he's not going to play Jackson Arnold next year. I would be shocked if Arnold's not at, some group of 5 school or something. I wouldn't be. I don't think he's going to. I don't think there's going to be another SEC school or Big Ten school or even an ACC school that's going to go. But we're the ones that can make this work. Remember, this guy was the number 1 dual threat quarterback coming out of high school. But if you're Hugh, he and Petrino are kind of something we talked about during the offseason. They're both these, like, what we call retreads, I think is what we call them.
Yeah.
And if you're Auburn, listen, do yourself a favor. Just bring in a young coordinator. Bring in a young, hungry coordinator that needs a shot. Bring in a guy, what's his name up at Syracuse. Bring in somebody that's coaching that wants it, that's never had the big job, that's going to appreciate coaching at Auburn in the SEC. Bring in somebody young. Stop going, I know it didn't work where they were before, but it's going to work here. Stop doing that.
They've got, I'm looking at the 26 recruiting class rankings. Auburn's 33rd.
So Hugh Freeze is probably gone.
Yeah, it's probably time.
I keep liking Alex Golish more and more and more. I'm starting to be like stress.
Go Bulls, baby.
He's someone that's starting to become high on my list, especially going into the off season for one of these programs like that. He's doing some good things.
Massive programs too that he could make the jump to. Or maybe he wants to stay at USF and keep them on the map. I mean,
we keep saying it, but Matt Campbell keeps staying at Iowa State no matter
same
what.
thing.
He's like, no, I'm good up here.
I kind of love that in a way because it makes things more interesting throughout the season. Kind of some cool parodies can kind of come off that because this guy's staying there. It's going to be a different vibe when a team steps in to play that team. So, yeah, not mad at it. What about if USF just, keeps just kicking butt?
If they went out, they're in the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And today's their toughest test remaining.
I know Arkansas and two of the three of us here, like if you put a true serum in us, nothing would make this fun. It would make us happier. And as my granddad would say, it would tickle us pink.
Yeah.
For Arkansas to be relevant nationally. It just would. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is at Arkansas.
I think at a DC, man, and give Bobby, 3 years. Why not?
It ain't working now. Like, you're not in any worse off spot than Bobby Petrino, and Arkansas for whatever reason isn't the school that. In my head, Arkansas should be the school that is always looking for the next hot shot coordinator. But they want to be like LSU. They really want to be like Alabama, where they're a destination for a big-time college football coach. And they're just not. Even though they have everything that makes you go to a game there, I tell you, there's two places in the country you go to a game, you swear they have 25 national championships. Arkansas and A&M. You go to a game there, you're like, how many national championships does school have? Place is packed out. It's loud. The fan base is crazy. And then you're like, well, they haven't won nothing in a long, 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 long time.
Yeah. I think that's the constant battle they're going to have to face, just like Kentucky. Like Kentucky and Arkansas are two schools, and used to Vandy are schools that, if you're a coach that's never coached in the SEC before but want to, you can start out with a school like that. But it's hard for them to keep guys, just like UK couldn't keep Liam Combs. And when Liam was there, he was doing some nice things as the offensive coordinator. But, of course, he went to the NFL. I think Arkansas faces kind of those similar challenges too. You make someone in that's working for a season or two, but are they going to go to Alabama? Are they going to go to Florida or Georgia or the NFL? So it's like an always kind of uphill battle for those schools at the bottom of the SEC like that. Yeah,
I've got two names for you guys to go towards more of a younger guy. These two guys both have ties to Arkansas, and I was having a conversation with my dad about this week, and we think that these are two realistic names. First one is Rhett Lashley. Currently the head coach down at SMU.
Yep.
Having a really great season. And Rhett Lashley is an Arkansas guy, like through and through. Played at Springdale. Where did he play his high school football at? Springdale High School.
He's in this year.
He was at Springdale High School. He was a GA at the University of Arkansas. He was an offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Arkansas State. So it feels like he kind of wants to be at Arkansas at some level. And then the other name, this one is kind of the one that I'm leaning more towards because he's kind of young and kind of unknown. Alex Mortensen, the son of the great late Chris Mortensen from ESPN. He's the interim head coach right now at Alabama Birmingham, UAB. And he
beat Memphis last week.
Yeah.
In the Bones Bowl.
Guess who couldn't beat Memphis this year already?
Yeah.
Arkansas. Alex Mortensen just did it with UAB. So, there is something right there that just says, maybe we bring the Arkansas native back, get him in, just a young guy ready to go, because he's 39 years old.
And you bring that guy in, he's going to know a lot. He's going to have recruited a ton in Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Florida. He's going to have deep recruit, because to put together a competitive team at UAB, you're not like going out to Texas to get talent. You're finding those diamonds in the rough, playing in Louisiana, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Like you're a guy that could put a roster together, and you don't probably have one guy on your roster making any money at all, hardly. So you get that guy some like an NIL, chest trove to throw at players. You might be pretty shocked. I like that one because I do think Arkansas, if you get a guy that really loves the program, not a guy that like is looking at Arkansas as a stepping stone to like his next place, which is what they've had stuff with before, or they brought somebody in that just you were like, this ain't gonna work. Like Houston Nutt, love Houston Nutt as a person, one of the greatest gentlemen to ever coach college football. Kind, met him several times. Just a gentleman of a guy, but too nice to coach in the SEC. Like once, like I always was like, he got too much of a strong moral compass to coach in the SEC. Like he needed to be a little bit of a cutthroat guy, and Houston not that. And if you're Auburn, next year's probably not going to be any better. Yeah. Why not get a young guy started now?
Go ahead, Cam Newton. Just do the right thing.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Actually, can I just say really quick that the Battle of the Bones, is that not one of the coolest trophies in all of college football? I want to see a picture of Alex holding that trophy after the game last week. It's a 100-pound trophy of like a rack of ribs. That's what it is. It's insane. I think it's the heaviest trophy I've ever heard in my life. You guys will have to Google that. It's insane. It's a big rival game. It's called the Battle of the Bones between Memphis and UAB every year. And whoever wins, they get a trophy of a rack of ribs, and it's like 100 pounds heavy.
Jeez,
it's
that
insane.
Thing is huge.
I hope we got a picture holding it last week.
I've never seen this trophy ever before in my entire life.
Hold on.
I didn't know about it either until last week.
Here we go. This is the trophy for that game. Are you kidding me?
That's amazing.
Is that not the coolest trophy in college football? It has to be.
I mean, that's hilarious. I love it. Absolutely love it. All right. Next topic up this morning. And we've talked about this, it feels like every week. But this is LSU's last chance to wake up.
Yeah.
Their season could be over.
And I had them winning it all this year. Playing Ohio State and the Natty, winning it all. But it ain't looking like that so far. They got to get something going.
No, they're 5-2 this year. And it's not a good 5-2.
Can a 10-3 team still make it?
Not if they don't win their national or their conference championship.
Yeah.
I don't know how. And I mean, they started off, they were the team that we thought after week one, this may be the best team in the country outside of Ohio State because of everything we believed about Clemson.
Yeah.
And then they went into Clemson and beat Clemson, and everyone was like, hey, hold on a second here. LSU's really good. Then they struggled a little bit against Louisiana Tech.
Who WKU beat last week in overtime by 1 point. That was insane. I watched that whole game.
And we were down there for the tailgate takeover for that game. And we kind of just looked at the Louisiana Tech struggle as like, hey, you're coming off of a big win against Clemson. You're playing down to your competition. Sometimes that can happen with certain teams. I've seen it. Oklahoma's done it before. I've seen Ohio State do it. Where like the week after a huge game, it takes a little bit, takes the first half for the guys to get up for the game and plug in. And then they beat Florida by 10, but it wasn't a good win. It was kind of ugly. And then they lose to Ole Miss. They play South Carolina, only beat them by 10. They don't have a great offensive showing in that game either. And then they get beat by Vanderbilt, which isn't a terrible loss. Vanderbilt, number 10. It's not a terrible loss. But the thing that they have not been able to figure out this year, the offense just cannot
Yeah.
not get rolling.
I'm afraid that if they lose another game or if they wasn't to make the college football playoffs, we're going to be having another conversation about Garrett Nussmeier and where his draft stock's going to be at. Because, I mean, he chose not to get drafted last year, so he could come back to this LSU team and hopefully lead them in to a national championship. But the biggest question surrounding him was, can he get control of the mental game? When you're under pressure, under the gun, can you make some better decisions between the ears? And it looked like maybe he addressed some of those problems, like that first game against Clemson. But now it just kind of seems like we're kind of getting the same Garrett Nussmeier in a way from last season. They're just kind of running it back. Yeah. Defense has stepped up tremendously. That's been great. But it's like, but we need offense to play on par with the defense. Like, why can't we, what's going on, Brian Kelly?
Hot take.
Man, I hate.
I don't disagree.
I mean, the way
it's not a good. It's not a good quarterback class, and there's about 4 QB needy teams right now in the league. I mean, even some of the bottom tier teams are starting to kind of figure it out with quarterbacks. So I don't know. It's going to be weird. Like Drew Aller, his draft stock is plummeted after his injury. Garrett Nussmeier hasn't had a season where it looks like he's developed at all. It's going to be weird to see kind of what happens with this QB class going into this NFL draft. But somebody will take a swing, and I think that they would be more willing to take a swing on an LSU quarterback after the last 2, how successful they've been in the league versus, another guy from Penn State or, whatever, XYZ school. But,
what NFL team would he fit? Because I'm sitting here thinking, does Nussmeier kind of give you guys Brock Purdy vibes a little bit?
Less
kind
mobile.
More of a pocket passer, less mobile.
Yeah, Brock's a much better athlete, I would say, but
he's not going to scramble like Jaden Daniels or anything.
No.
Brock won big games in college.
Yeah.
Like, Brock was a tyrant on the football field against Oklahoma when he was at Iowa State. Like, we had to dial up crazy defensive schemes to keep him wrangled in the pocket. He just could get out and move and throw from weird angles and all that stuff. I think he probably, I'll tell you who he reminds me of. This is going to make Texas fans mad. He's a less productive Quinn Ewers.
Yeah. That's a good take.
That's who he is. He's a less productive Quinn Ewers.
Yeah.
And Quinn, he'll be a career backup. And there's nothing wrong.
I think he might be starting this season or the rest of the season.
I think he's starting. I think they're excited to figure out who they're drafting, though. I don't think anybody's watching Quinn and but I think New Orleans in the same place. I don't think anybody's watching Spencer Rattler going, future of New Orleans Saints right there.
Yeah. New Orleans saw Tyler Shuck last season and said, that's the guy. Let's go get that guy. I'm like, what? Are we watching the same sport? What is going on here? But no, I think Steve brought up a good point with Garrett Nussmeier. He's kind of that same trajectory of Drew Aller. You kind of have high expectations of the kid. Stuck around for a 5th year, but hasn't developed really at all. Like, there's nothing that has jumped off the screen at me this season whatsoever from Garrett Nussmeier. And I think we all went in on this season pretty high on the Nuss bus. We kind of
after week 1.
Yeah, after week 1, he managed the game well against Clemson. And that at that time we thought Clemson was going to be much better than they are, but Clemson sucks. It's the first time I've said the word Clemson in like 5 weeks actually just now. So it's interesting.
Next episode or something, guys, like maybe we should do a little bit more of a deep dive under the hood. What's going on at LSU? Because like that's been so interesting. Like
here's what it is.
I don't know why like Carson Beck's not having the kind of season that Nussmeier's having, and you would think otherwise. I missed it. What'd Rocky say?
There's a reason that head coach was pressured to leave Notre Dame.
Yeah,
I think Brian Kelly's as responsible as anybody.
After spending 2 weekends down there, I did not find one person in Baton Rouge when we were covering those 2 games that likes him. Not one.
Was that right around when it was starting to turn even more, you think, with LSU fans getting frustrated with him?
It was frustrating. I think they were obviously really excited after the Clemson game, but they were frustrated. I think they're frustrated by two things. Number one, I think they're frustrated that at the time that the offense just felt like it couldn't get going, like it couldn't get activated quick in games. And then Garrett has always had the propensity to fall back onto trying to fit things in small windows, trying to play hero ball, making dumb mistakes. And that was his problem last year. And then everyone thought, well, if Garrett just fixes that, if he can just fix that, then we'll be in good spot. And he's not. I was looking at the team stats. There was one particular thing that jumped off the table at me. Third down conversion for LSU this year, 37 of 88.
Yeah, 42%.
That right there is quarterback can't process it fast enough once the pressure starts. You need one. Like, hey, we need this 3rd and 8. We need this 3rd and 6. And you can't make it work.
They're 83% on 4th down.
And they very rarely go for it.
Yeah, 6 times.
Which tells me they're very seldomly are in 4th and short yardage situations. So, it's not working. And if you're a defensive player at LSU, I don't care what anybody says. It's really hard to just keep getting up off the bench to go in there and try to save the game because your offense can't stay on the field for longer than 3 minutes. Like, that's got to be annoying as a defensive player to go offense. Can you just...
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm looking at Nussmeier's stats itself. We're going into week 9. He has 11 touchdowns to 5 interceptions.
Yeah.
Like, that's not good enough. Like, that's not even remotely close to good enough. Especially when you're going into a season where people were looking at you as one of the potential teams to go out and win it all. 11 touchdowns through, what are they, 7 games? That's not good.
And he's averaging 234 yards. That's good. Like averaging 234 passing yards per game is pretty solid. 1,600 yards total for the season. Not terrible.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
He's not even close to his production from last season, though.
No. And
he had 4,000 yards passing last year.
When they have to have it, when they got to have it, he can't get it. So, if LSU doesn't today come out and win this game, there's going to be a lot of rumblings.
And I don't think spoiler alert for when we get to our picks, I don't think they're going to. I think Texas A&M's a real deal. Yeah. But if Garrett Nussmeier comes out and LSU pulls it off as a 2.5 point underdog, we're going to have a whole different conversation later this week, this next week.
100%. Before we get to picking games, biggest winners and losers this season so far in college football. Teams that we thought were going to do something that didn't, teams that no one saw coming.
I got a stat for you boys.
I'll give you my biggest winner this year. I think it's Vanderbilt. I don't even think it's close.
Yep.
I mean, everything about Diego Pavia is everything you would think. That's a guy you want to root to lose a lot if you're another SEC team. The answer is yes. If you watch Diego Pavia, you can't stand him if you're not a Vanderbilt fan.
Yeah. It's very unlikable for just the guy that's not a fan of Vanderbilt. Dude can ball though.
He can. He's got that Johnny Manziel thing, but he runs his mouth like a wrestling heel. That's not like Manziel didn't run his mouth like that in press conferences.
I love it though. I mean, he's bringing a vibe to a program that's been so irrelevant for so many years.
Yeah, but practicing the kneel down before you play Alabama is just
Wild, dude.
Well, there's
just
that.
the dumbest thing you could possibly do.
You're practicing victory formation the week before, and you make sure that someone is filming it. That's hilarious.
It's just like
That's ultimate troll job. I like it.
Like that's something. If Russell Wilson was a bad person, that would be something that Russell Wilson would have done.
And he would have had some like very
Team 3 would have had like the sickest cut up before kickoff already posted to his social media. Yeah.
I think for me, I think it's the biggest winners. I think it's Vanderbilt. I think biggest losers this season is Florida to me. Because man, I thought this was it. I thought they had the quarterback figured out. I thought everything was supposed to work. And it's not good. It is not good. Steve, you got any biggest winners and losers this season?
Yeah, I'm with you. Biggest winner, Vanderbilt. I love what Clark Lee's doing down there in Nashville. That's his alma mater. Means something to him. I really enjoyed his segment on the show, the SEC show that came out on Netflix, and just kind of him talking about what it meant to him and everything. So you love to kind of see that. They're doing some great things. They're going to make the playoffs. I think College Game Day is there today. And boy, would I hate to be a Mizzou fan.
Wait, College Game Day is at an SEC game?
Right.
When has that ever happened?
What?
When does that happen?
Oh, wait, every single week this season.
Not ever happen. And the biggest disappointment for me goes to Clemson. I found this stat a couple of days ago for you guys and for the pod. Clemson has now lost 8 consecutive home games against the spread dating back to September of last year. That is the longest active ATS against the spread home losing streak in the country.
Good teams,
All
good
you
teams
do
win.
is win. All you do is win, Dabo. All you do is what happened, Dabo? I thought all you do is win.
Yeah.
What happened? Where was all them Clemson fans at that was in our comment section a couple weeks ago giving us crap?
Oh, they've been real quiet.
Y'all been real quiet.
I'm
at it, bro.
It's so if you're losing games at
Our
home,
podcasting equipment ain't cheap over here, baby. Come get some. I'm just kidding. Don't calm down now.
if you're losing games at home as Clemson, like you can have stretches where like you have a road trip problem, like, but then there's a lot of schools, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia. You would sometimes those schools would go. I mean, our school at one point had like a 4-year thing where they hadn't lost at home, and then we go on a road trip and you'd lose a close one, and you go, man, if we just figure out the road trip thing. But if you're not even winning at home, it's bad. It's bad.
That's bad.
Yeah, you're in trouble there.
Yeah. Stretch, you got any biggest winners, losers this season?
Yeah. I've got two biggest winners. One of them I think is Ryan Day. I gotta shout out my head coach. We haven't really talked about the Buckeyes much on this show. I don't think
Matt Patricia.
We'll get there. We'll get there, Steve. I think nationally it's kind of weird. I don't think Ohio State has been talked about enough this season because all they've done is go out and dominate. After losing 16 guys to the NFL draft, basically your entire defense, you're only returning like 3 starters on defense. You're replacing the entire defensive line, and your defensive coordinator took a job with Penn State where he looks real stupid now. I'm looking right at you, Jim Knowles. If you're watching this, I'm talking to you. But then Ryan Day goes out and gets Matt Patricia, gets laughed at kind of nationally, like this ain't going to work. Oh, this has been the best scoring defense since 1993, by the way, in college football.
The thing in college football right now is Ohio State's defense. They could beat half the NFL probably right now.
They are giving up 5.8 points a game, which is the fewest points from any college football team since 1993. So it's just crazy. And then on the flip side of that, they go out and they lose their quarterback. They go out and they lose their running back tandem. You know, one of their best receivers goes in the draft, Emeka Egbuka, which, by the way, very well on his way to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year this season. And their offensive coordinator, Chip Kelly, leaves to go to the worst place on the planet, the Las Vegas Raiders. Like, you live long enough, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become a villain. That's the story of Chip Kelly for me.
Yep.
And you know, Ryan Day taking the risk and going out and saying, I'm going to start the young guy, Julian Sand, who has done nothing but exceed expectations all season long. And the Buckeyes are sitting at 7-0 right now. They're off this week. You know, it's going to be a relaxing Saturday for me, which is very much needed. But I want to give Ryan Day his flowers. You know, I think he's been one of the biggest winners this season, and it's kind of been kind of a quiet thing this year. Ohio State, like, they've been number one since week 2 of the college football season, and they've just held that position, and it's been quiet all year long. And I think it's going to continue on to, you know, until we get to the game at the end of the season.
Can I add one big important thing to that, Stress? Everything you just said, not to mention the turnover rate between coordinators there at Ohio State. They're pretty much there a year and then they're gone. So for Ryan Day to still be able to be that productive as he's been at Ohio State, stacked up against those odds, I mean, that I think Ohio State is giving everyone a big, big lesson. And that lesson to me that I'm taking away is depth. I mean, look at Jeremiah Love. Look at Julian Sand this year. I mean, depth. They're like third stringers could probably beat half of college football. It's insane.
It is insane. So that's my biggest winner of the year. My other big winner is just South Florida Bulls, baby. I've become a Bulls fan this season. I've enjoyed watching that football team. I love what they've got going on at quarterback. I think he needs to be in the Heisman conversation, but that's a story for a different time. So those are my two biggest winners for the season. And then my biggest loser on the college football season isn't a team or a player. It's Fox Big Noon Kickoff. Biggest loser of the 2025 college football season. What are we doing?
It doesn't work.
It has gotten unwatchable.
I don't watch.
The best week they had was when Dave couldn't be on, so Big Cat, because they were at Northwestern, Big Cat did, and it was the most fun they had.
It's because Big Cat actually knows ball.
And he's fun, and like he knows what he knows, and he knows what he doesn't know. He gets the whole game. He's not trying to like come off as, you know, some college football savant.
Yeah.
But it's not fun to watch.
No.
And who's the Alabama running back that's on there?
Mark Ingram.
Mark Ingram, if you notice, he'll do stuff with Dave, but none of the other guys I don't think the other guys really want to do stuff with Dave.
No, I mean the other guys are all quarterbacks and coaches.
Yeah,
they don't want to do stuff with Dave.
You got Brady Quinn, you got Matt Leinart, and obviously Urban Meyer does not like Dave Portnoy, which I don't blame him. I just love how Urban Meyer is always sipping out of his 7-0 mug because he went undefeated against the team up north. So, but yeah, I think Fox Big Noon has been easily one of the biggest losers of the entire season.
Another biggest winner that I want to make sure that we shout out, you know, we were talking conference expansion. SEC has been talking conference expansion. There were several teams that were on that list. Clemson, North Carolina was on that list. And the head coach at Georgia Tech said, hold my beer this season. And said, if you're going to look at anybody to join the SEC conference,
dude,
we want that Georgia Tech game back.
Dude,
and we want it to mean something.
I don't think Georgia wants to play that game this year.
The ACC is so fascinating right now because Virginia don't play Miami, right?
Nope.
And who else doesn't play? Georgia Tech. Do they play Miami?
No, Miami's not on their schedule. They have Georgia at the end of the season.
They could be in potentially Louisville in the ACC championship, and Miami can miss it.
It's like a 3-team race right now. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And I mean, Georgia Tech's really fun to watch, man. They
are.
They're scoring points this season. It's not your grandma's Georgia Tech anymore. It's an actual college football team.
Can you imagine if you're the SEC and you expand and bring Georgia Tech in? Now you got Atlanta. Not these fakes. We got Atlanta because we stick any game we can come up with in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium instead of having it on the campus at Georgia. Like you got Atlanta. Georgia Tech is in the middle of Atlanta, and now you got Atlanta. And maybe you look around and if you are the SEC right now and you said what two teams just this season in the ACC, what two teams would you add? I say it's Georgia Tech and Miami, and I don't even think it's close. I don't see any reason to have the talks with North Carolina or Clemson right now. There's no reason. If you bring in North Carolina, all you're doing is bringing in a distraction for your conference.
Yeah.
And you don't need it. You have the biggest names in coaching, whether you're a Big Ten fan or an SEC fan or whatever, the biggest names in coaching, names alone, just names, they're all down in the SEC. All the biggest characters, of like you got your Kirby Smarts, you got your Lane Kiffin, like you got all these coaches down in the SEC. You bring in North Carolina, then you got to deal with the national media out in New York wanting to we want to put North Carolina at a 6:00 on the SEC. Nobody wants it. It would be bad. It would not be good. But Georgia Tech, man, Georgia Tech, Georgia game, obviously it's still a big game for them. It's a big in-state game. It means a lot to them. But, man, put that game as a regular season game in the SEC, and it matters again. It's a big – like it would be a ton of fun. And I think Miami – Miami to me has just always felt like it needed to be in the SEC anyway. It never made sense it was an ACC thing other than basketball. Like it does feel very ACC on the basketball side. But those two schools have made a really big statement this year of we belong in the SEC. If you're going to look at a couple of ACC schools, we're the two that we think you ought to be looking at. And Georgia Tech's had an unbelievable year. Teams that I think my team that I think probably needs to be studied a little bit this year that has been one of the biggest losers this year. And before everyone's like, oh, but you're an Oklahoma fan, Texas is one of the biggest losers in college football this year. I don't care.
Flawed. They are the most flawed team in college football.
Extremely. They've won one Power 4 game.
You were the number one team in the country coming into the season.
Yeah. The stats they had against Kentucky, it was ridiculous. Kentucky had better stats almost.
Two Power 4 games. I forgot last Saturday happened.
Kentucky, if Kentucky hit it, this is the only reason Texas won this Kentucky game. And I actually had a diehard Texas fan that I got to admit this. I said, if you were playing Kentucky next year with that quarterback having a full season of college football underneath him and another year of spring and summer practice, he beats you.
Well, the reason why they lost too is because Kentucky ran 3 draw plays back to back to back, and it just wasn't working.
Yeah, what was that?
Bush Hamden, like he's got to get it together. It boils down to coaching again. But yeah, I did have a screenshot of it on my phone. I wish I could find it.
Texas loses today.
Yeah, we're about to pick that game, and I'm probably I don't know how I'm trying to keep talking myself into.
They can't win that game. They can't keep up with the team that's going to score 40 points.
I don't see how.
Granted, Texas's defense is very solid. I think Mississippi State's still going to be able to score 27, 34 points.
Mississippi State scored on everybody this year.
Literally, everybody.
They've not had a problem scoring points, which doesn't surprise me. Levy's a fantastic offensive mind.
Yeah. Let me throw this out there real quick. So that game, just to show you how flawed Texas is, UK had 395 yards total. Texas had 179. Time of possession, average UK 39, UT 20, total plays 86, UT 85. First downs, UK had 26, Texas had 8. Completion rate, 78% for UK, 44% for Texas.
Dude, Arch sucks. I'm tired of pretending like Arch Manning is a good quarterback. He's not.
No.
We're sitting here week 9. hasn't done a single thing to impress me one bit, and it doesn't take much to impress Strez. Like I watch college football. I'm like, how did that 19-year-old just catch that pass? That was amazing, because I played the damn game, and I'm just like, Arch Manning sucks. I'm tired. I don't think the experiment has worked. I think there was a reason he didn't start last year. I think there was a reason that they talked Quinn Ewers to coming back last year. I think Texas, when they move off of Arch and they bring in that kid that came out in that game against who was it? Ole Miss?
Yeah.
Cold.
In it.
And ripped the first down. That was like a 15-yard out. When they move to that guy, Texas is going to be the real deal.
And in the Kentucky game, I kept seeing him get into the red zone, and he looked like a very good freshman quarterback, Kentucky's quarterback. Like he was making some weird reads, like a little off on throws, but they threw for a ton of yards, a lot of offense generated. That's how a guy that's starting his first year is supposed to look. Not where your special teams, your defense has got to bail you out, which is what Texas has had happen all year. I mean, it
was a star 4 recruit too, and decided to stay home in Lexington and play. I thought that was super
good for him. That's huge. That's a big get for Mark. I know you like to, we like to poke some fun at him, but if you can land, top recruits and keep them in state, that's huge.
Not
that
after
really
that
is.
game. We're all mad at Bush Hamden over here in Kentucky.
There you go.
They lost really because they just ran 3 draw plays in a row.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
Well, and they got shafted on a couple of calls. I was mad because I was like,
don't on the field thing.
Like SEC officials, don't help Texas. Like, Lord, stop. Like,
Please. Dang it.
So dumb.
Texas put up 179 yards of total offense.
Like, come on. What are we talking?
Yeah.
Like,
passing.
The preseason number 1 team in the country. Not even 200 yards of total offense. I'm sorry. I don't mean to hurt your feelings on this one, Steve. But against Kentucky.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a good defense, but you're Texas. You're the preseason
remind me of
number 1.
Auburn.
It's like
me of Auburn. Decent defense. Offense can't figure it out. And I just texted you guys some really cool stats from that game, too. Passing yards. Arch only had 132. Cutter had 258. Rushing yards. 47 for Texas from that game.
Yeah.
UK had 137. Penalties, Texas had 7. UK had 3. First down, 8. Kentucky, 26. I mean, that's just half the list.
Yeah, I mean, 400 yards of total offense by Kentucky against one of the top defenses in the country. Mississippi State's probably going to put up 600 on them today. It's not going to be pretty for Texas. That's just awful.
I mean, if you're Sark and that's the stats after the game against Kentucky, I fully admit, one of the bottom-ranked teams of the SEC consecutively. I mean, what do you do?
I mean, it's not good. It's just not good. All right. Before we pick some games here, make sure to download Better, BETR. Download Better, the first real micro play app. So instead of waiting for the full game, you can lock in and play on every drive. Super simple, no messy menus. We love our guys over at Better, and if you use code WASHED, WASHED, code WASHED at Better, you get a special promo. And they're doing a bunch of stuff. College basketball season is about to kick off, so there's going to be doing a lot of fun stuff there. NBA just kicked off as well. So a lot of things happening. So download Better, BETR, and shout out to Better for powering the Waterboys College Football Show. All right, boys, let's pick some games. Hard to say, and I didn't want us to put this as the biggest game of the day, but it probably is.
Right away, too.
Yeah, 11 a.m. Dadgummit. I thought I got done with 11 a.m. When we moved to the SDC, I was like, thank God, no more 11 a.m. kickoff.
Avoid it. Run from it. Destiny arrives all the same. Blue Bloods get 11 a.m. games. That's just how it works.
Listen, if people are like, Strez, when the season started, he was like, Dadgummit, I'm got nothing but 11 a.m. kickoffs. I was like, Fox, man, we had it in the Big 12 for years.
It sucks. I hate it.
It's horrible.
Give me the 3:30 time slot.
Brittany and I would literally look at the schedule and go, hey, we got 2 6 o'clock kicks. Look at that! Like that. These were like Baker was on campus. We'd have like 2 primetime kicks the entire season. The rest of
2 Christmases.
Yeah, our Ohio State had a primetime kickoff against Ohio, and I'm just like,
that makes no sense to me.
We're wasting the horseshoe under the lights on the Bobcats. What are we doing?
Exactly.
Big game though. Yeah, Ole Miss, Oklahoma.
Yeah, she's telling you to hush because we've been through this. Why she's telling Chris to hush? She's like, I've been through the 11 a.m. All right. Number 8, Ole Miss at number 13, Oklahoma. What is spread at right now for
OU is favored by 5.5. It opened at 4.5, so it's increased to by 1 point. Over under 52.5 points today.
Obviously, this game. Let me check the weather real quick. Are we getting rain all morning here?
Yeah, it looks like it's 60 degrees and raining at kickoff.
Weather
which
like
is almost perfect football weather.
Yeah, weather like this when it's wet and it's a little chilly favors defense.
Yeah.
It will slow down your passing attack. And Ole Miss, they want to air it out, but with this type of weather, you may have a hard time doing that. Oklahoma last week did figure out how to run the ball a little bit. So that was encouraging that we could run the football and it didn't have to revolve around John Mateer. Your dad is completely correct here. Ole Miss doesn't have a defense. If OU can score like Arkansas did, OU wins easy. Give me Oklahoma. This game is probably a make or break game for both teams. Oklahoma losing to Texas. Mateer coming off hand surgery. They looked okay against South Carolina. Looked okay. South Carolina is not the South Carolina that a lot of us thought they would be coming into the year. But saying that, I didn't think Ole Miss would be this good this year after having to replace their quarterback.
Yeah.
It's going to really come down to, can Ole Miss put enough offense together on the ground against, depending on who you talk to. Defense. Yeah, depending on who you talk to, the best rushing attack or the best pass rushing attack in college football. I mean, Oklahoma's linebacking core and their pass rushers, they get after quarterbacks big time.
Yeah. And I'm looking at their two schedules too remaining. Ole Miss has a much more favorable schedule after this week. I mean, aside from that second weekend in November when Ole Miss has that tough test against the Citadel, they've got a pretty favorable schedule moving forward for the rest of the year. OU does not have a favorable schedule, and I know that, and I'm sure they know that. So this is going to be really important for them to get this win going into next week and into November in general.
You get past this game, you've got Tennessee, Alabama, Missouri, LSU. We don't even get we played Kent State October 4th. I guess that was our here's your gift game. Then the rest of your season you're just going to get the shaft from the SEC schedule for the second year in a row. I mean, Oklahoma needs this one bad, because if Oklahoma can beat Ole Miss today and only give up one other game,
could get in.
Yeah, which would probably be Alabama. You could get in the college football playoff and potentially be peaking at the right time to make a run.
Yeah. The further we get away from, Mateer's surgery, the healthier he'll be. The more he's had time back at practice to get back on schedule and in rhythm and stuff.
Yeah, I think this one comes down to defense, and I think Oklahoma, I think they're the best defense in the SEC. They have really impressed me in secondary, which was kind of some questions that we had last year. Now they play super physical football in the secondary, and it'll really depend just how the officials are calling the game. If they're going to let the guys rough each other up in the secondary, or if the PIs are just going to fly all over the field.
I can't believe the odds are so close on the money line. I think Ole Miss is in the money plus 152. Oklahoma's at minus 180. It's got me very tempted to lay some bread on that money line for Oklahoma.
ESPN pick'em, 65% of the people have picked Ole Miss in this one.
I mean, I can give you the spread, but I wouldn't take them on the money line. I mean, that defense is not going to be able to stop John Mateer. Yeah, I don't know what Vegas is seeing or what ESPN is thinking or seeing. But
I mean, I don't know. Is Ole Miss's defense much better than South Carolina?
No.
I think
Georgia just dropped 43 on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Oklahoma, not just because it's a homer pick.
Drop an H in the chat for Homer.
If
they had the running game going last week, without John Mateer having to do it all. So I mean,
75 and sunny, I'd probably take Oklahoma as a homer pick, but boy, I'd feel bad about it. I wouldn't feel good about it.
Yeah, and I think too, you can look at the way OU played against Bryce Underwood going into this game, because Trinidad Chambliss has kind of that same. Dude can run, dude can throw. So if you take one of those two things away, and I think the weather's going to help in the run game, against Ole Miss. So yeah.
Oklahoma's defense, real quick, leading the country in sacks, tackles for loss, and opponent yards per play, while allowing just 9.4 points per game. So somebody at Ole Miss is playing quarterback today going to have a long day when you can't.
It's going to be a rough day
on the field, and you're going to have to stay in the pocket and dink and dunk, or hand the ball off. There's some boys you're going to end up with a very messy jersey today, probably.
Yeah, and it's in Norman, and Trinidad Chambliss is the young guy. Hasn't been the starter all season. So
they'll be loud. They will be very, very loud. 11 a.m. They will not be as loud as they would have been at 6 o'clock SEC. This game should not be played at 11. This is so stupid. Strez, who are you taking?
Give me the Sooners. I like their defense in this game. I like the way that they probably feel like their back's against the wall after dropping the Red River a couple weeks ago. So give me the Sooners in this one. I think Brent Venables will get the boys up and ready to go for this game. And you close out October with a big win against the top 10 team, and then you go into a gauntlet that's going the entire month of November. Halloween's next Friday, boys. Like November 1 is next Saturday. Like we will be in November, week 10 next week when we're on here talking about the games next week. So yeah, give me the Sooners in a big one today.
Steve, who you got?
I'm with you, and I think for my birthday next Saturday, because my birthday's November 1st, I may go with a buddy to a WKU game. So thinking about that. But yeah, I mean, I like Oklahoma. If I'm betting on this game, I like Oklahoma on the spread. It's at minus 4.5. I definitely don't think this is going to be down to a field goal. I think they can at least win it by a touchdown, maybe 10 points. So I like the Sooners on the spread, of course, on the money line, and maybe the under on this one just because of the weather. But yeah, I think the Sooners are going to cash that money line and spread easily.
All right, next game up. This game should mean nothing. It should mean nothing. But Kurt Signetti even admitted it in a press conference. He said, hey, I look at it as we're playing an undefeated team.
Yeah, since they made the switch at coaching, UCLA is 3-0.
Plus, I know it's hard to see, but plus 1,600 on UCLA, and I'm thinking about putting some green on it.
ESPN bet has the money line turned off on this game.
Yeah, they don't want
they don't want anybody making money on this one.
They're like, no. I think Indiana wins this game. But man, I want this could. I wouldn't be shocked if at halftime everybody's turning their TVs on because UCLA's figured out some way to keep this thing dirty and close.
Yeah, I mean, Nico is no stranger to playing these big games. I think Neuheisel has been calling a really good offense over the last 3 weeks.
With
you know,
years old.
Great point, Stress.
I love how his dad is on the CBS Sports show.
It's so much fun.
It's so fun. He's just like, he is grinning from ear to ear every time they get to talk about what his son has been able to do for that offense and everything out there in UCLA. But
and he looks like he's sick, like he got a drive.
Rosy cheeks, like perfectly blonde hair. It's so funny. This guy played in college football like a decade ago. He is not young. Does not look like that though. But yeah, this could be one of those games where it's like, buttholes in Indiana get real tight.
And I've waited for Indiana to have one of these. Every team every top 5 team every year, you get one of these on your schedule where you're going to have to really like pull yourself out of a hole and win one, or you're going to, continue every time, your offense scores and you think, okay, we got some distance, and then something crazy happens and you're like, golly, can we not distance ourselves from this team? We should be blowing this team out. It could be the UCLA today. I have no idea.
I'm with you, Rocky.
Bold pick.
With you, Rocky. My man. That's my pick. This is my pick for the biggest upset of the week. I've been saving this one for UCLA, Indiana this week. Give me UCLA. I love the odds on the money line. I may have to put some spread on that. I'm having a big cookout at my house this evening, gentlemen, for the band and crew and some of my fam. And I may use this game as an opportunity to make some of that money back that I spent on a lot of meat this week.
Yeah, spread is Indiana's favored by 26.5. Over under is 52.5.
I don't like these are games I don't like. If you're Indiana, you look at that, you go, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like it's raining and chilly in Bloomington too, so it's I don't know. I think
stress about Nico too. Him playing. Yeah, last year, playing these games. That's a great point.
Yeah, he played hard against Ohio State in the first round of the college football playoff. But
won some big games at Tennessee last year.
Big games. And so this is nothing new to him. I think Indiana still probably wins this game, but I think it's maybe like 1.5 scores, like a 10-point win. Because I think UCLA, they've got nothing to lose. They're 3-3. Get an interim head coach, brand new offense coordinator. The last few games, nothing to lose. Go out there, whatever trick plays that Neuheisel's been putting together in his time waiting for this opportunity. Just go out there and let it do it. And who is it? Name a better opposing head coach to go out and just run trick play after trick play after trick play against. You can't. It's Kurt Cignetti. That's who you want to do it against. So I think Indiana, Mendoza, too level-headed of a quarterback. He's going to make sure that the team is even keeled going into this game. I think Indiana goes out there and they win, but I think it's going to be not necessarily. I wouldn't be surprised if UCLA has the lead at halftime going into this game.
And speaking of biggest winners and losers of the season, Indiana, Mendoza, there are a lot of NFL guys.
His draft stock is like basically a vertical line right now.
They were not going into it looking at this guy. Now you're like, hey, hold on a second. This guy in Indiana.
What's that guy's name out there in Indiana?
You're calling the guy at the end of the line who was like just had to be the guy that scouted schools like Indiana. He's like, I've been saying it. All right, number 15 Missouri at number 10 Vanderbilt. This is a tough game to pick. Do you ride with the momentum? Do you ride with the magic that is Diego Pavia? Or do you ride with Missouri, who has played spoiler this season?
They're legit.
Yeah, very good, very balanced.
I don't know. They barely beat Auburn last week. They had to go to overtime.
Yeah, that was a very Missouri game, for sure. What are they? So they're 6-1 this year. They're not getting a whole bunch of love from AP voters. Let's see here. Kansas put up 31 on them.
Yeah. South Carolina scored 20.
Yeah, South Carolina put up some points on them. Alabama only beat them by 3. That's what makes this game interesting. How do you only beat Alabama by 3, who has turned into maybe like the best team in the SEC.
See, you got to be careful about Bama because when things go quiet around Tuscaloosa and they just have their head down and they're going about their business, that's when you got to be very afraid because they just keep stacking wins. And it's kind of similar with Ohio State right now about them not maybe getting as much as love, and they're just keeping their head down and they're just going about their business and stacking wins.
Yeah, I mean, that conversation quieted down real fast around Tuscaloosa because they wanted him gone week 3. That was Alabama wants him gone. And now they started to figure it out. I'm going to take Missouri in this one. I know they're not favored. I know it's at Vanderbilt, but I don't even – is that stadium even finished? Are they still playing like a half-built stadium in Vandy?
I mean, it's not anything to write home about even when it is finished, but yeah, Vandy is only favored by 2.5 in this one, and another points total at 52.5. And it's at Vandy. Vandy's only a 2.5 point home favorite. That just kind of that's one of those things right there that's like maybe there's something about Mizzu this year. I think they have a really good running back, and I really like what Mizzou's been doing at quarterback this season. I think it's just going to be going to come down to like which defense can get stops.
Yeah.
And which quarterback takes better care of the football is probably what this one's coming down to.
And you bring up a good point. Missouri got a really good running game, and that if you can beat on that Vanderbilt defensive line in the first half, by the second half, you may be able to open it up a little bit if you're Missouri and you're breaking off some chunk run plays.
Yeah.
Makes it a lot easier in the passing game. This
Ahmad Hart is averaging 4.3 yards per carry against AP top 25 teams. 6 yards a carry overall. So I mean, he's like they're getting the ball moving. He's got 840 yards on 139 carries this season. They're able to move the ball on the ground pretty well. I think Mizzu has been kind of one of the teams that really has shocked me this year. Not a huge fan of their head coach, but I mean, he's getting the job done week in, week out. He's almost pulled it off against Bama. You know,
he's got a little bit of he's got a little Dabo in him. He's a little cringy.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm leaning Mizzu on this in this one. I think Mizzu goes in and pulls off the upset this week.
Steve,
give me Vandy. I'm going with Vandy, and here's why. They've been hot here lately. College game days there. Going to have all that hype, all that anticipation. And I watched majority of that Mizzu and Auburn game last week, and I just feel like that Auburn's defense was able to expose Mizzou's offense a little bit. And I was surprised that it took them going to overtime to win it. And it was a very low-scoring game. You know, I figured that Mizzou's offense would score way more points than what Auburn did. So we'll see if they've made enough adjustments to get things headed in the right direction going into this game. But I'm liking Vandy on this one, so give me Vandy.
Yeah, Vandy's schedule is much more favorable too than Mizzou's is the rest of the season. They're at Texas next week, which I think Vandy should win that game walking away. And then they've got Auburn at home, Kentucky at home, and then at Tennessee. And Mizzu, on the other hand, next week they host Texas A&M. Texas A&M about to be coming off of a big win, probably. Mississippi State, and then they go to Oklahoma and then to Arkansas for the Battle Line rivalry, which has kind of turned into a little bit of a rivalry game like this. There was like 7 fights last season in that game. So Mizzou, Arkansas is like no joke. You know, it's one of those games. You know, Thanksgiving weekend, it just kind of happens. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know, which team feels like they need today more. Which team feels like they can afford to lose today more. I mean, not that you can ever go into a game thinking that we'll be okay if we lose this game, because I mean, you shouldn't be a D1 athlete if you're like, I'm okay with losing.
That's the thing that kind of scares me a little bit, because I think Missouri may need it more. Just when you look at the schedule, you know, I don't know. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, whoever wins this game has a chance to race straight towards the SEC championship game. So, and if Mizzou does it, they get a rematch, because I think it's going to be Bama and someone else. I think Bama's going to be in the SEC championship game for sure this year.
Bama
and Texas A&M, I guess too. So it'll be interesting to see what happens moving forward for both of these programs.
Yeah. What I think is the most interesting game today, of all the games today, this is the one that I am most interested to see. Mississippi State is overnight. It feels like all of a sudden Mississippi State can play football. Now you look at their record; they're 4-3. Texas is 5-2. But Mississippi State beat Arizona State, who's ranked number 24, and was a lot of our favorite to win the Big 12 this year. Everybody we were like, yeah.
What's going on in the Big 12 this year, man?
Can't
figure it out.
They played Tennessee incredibly well, and Tennessee had to pull that one out. And that game was really, really good. Now they got thumped. The final score, the A&M game, is not good, but Mississippi State did play Texas A&M closer than what that score is. They lose by 2 to Florida. Shouldn't have lost that one. They're in a weird spot. They're kind of outperforming expectation. Levy probably really is kind of looking at this season as like, hey, anything we do this season, like we're building for the next couple of years here.
Yeah, land some recruits.
Yeah, like this is not. They're not supposed to be in some of these games this year, but Levy's done a fantastic job down there. And Texas, they have struggled all season long. They beat Oklahoma with a hurt Mateer and some, touchdowns scored by special teams in the defense. Oklahoma, the best game they played was against Oklahoma. And they didn't look fantastic. It's not like they were in there looking like world beaters.
Right.
I think it's a big trap game because Mississippi State has nothing to lose. Nothing to lose. You're bowl eligible at this point, which is a big deal down there right now, like being able to just play in a bowl game. And they're getting all the hype and all the media coverage and all that BS that comes along with bringing Texas in and Arch banning and all that. I don't know if Levy can get enough pressure on Arch defensively to frustrate him like other teams that have had success against Texas have been able to do. But I also don't know that Texas is ready for the onslaught of offensive attack that Levy can dial up.
Yeah, the constant cowbells.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to test your defensive backs early.
Yeah.
He's going to figure out where the hole is. Do you have a guy that just isn't there? Like, do you have someone maybe that is not, got it together today, and he's going to continue to do that? They do a lot of really creative crossing route stuff where they're letting a guy get it on the run and getting a ton of yak yards. I'm not saying that Mississippi State can go in and win this game, but it's not going to shock, I think, anybody that's watched Texas.
And Texas has Vandy next week, and then they're at Georgia, and then they've got Arkansas, and then they're home against A&M. So they very well could be looking past Mississippi State and kind of thinking like next week we really got to bring it, and you can't really afford to do that at this point in the season, especially if you're Texas. I mean, you just you won a game in overtime on, you had the second overtime. The team that you were playing against had the first possession. They didn't score at all, so all you had to do is kick a field goal.
Right.
They really just kind of walked away with that one pretty lucky, in my opinion. So yeah, I think this is a huge opportunity for Mississippi State.
I'm probably going to take Texas, but I'm taking them by a field goal. And it wouldn't shock me if we get into the fourth quarter and this thing's tied. So I'm taking Texas.
I don't know. I kind of like Mississippi State too. They're at plus 235. Over and unders at 47.5. Yeah, give me Mississippi State. I think just let Levy cook. They've been one of those teams that's kind of been fun to watch this season. And I think, in the next season or two, they're going to kind of be where they're wanting to be at. And, yeah, man, again, I think it showed the whole country after they played Kentucky, how flawed they are, and Mississippi State's a way better team than the Wildcats. So give me Mississippi State.
Yeah.
On the money line, potentially the over on the total.
Yeah. Yeah, over under is only at 47.5. That's it. That is interesting. I'm taking the Bulldogs as well. I think the fact that this is in Starkville, I think the fact that Arch Manning just isn't a good quarterback. I think the fact that Texas might be looking ahead to next week against Vanderbilt. Mississippi State's playing for the rest of the season. I think give me the Bulldogs in this one. Mississippi State wins.
A lot of people are taking the spread right now, too. I was just looking at Mississippi State. It's at plus 7.5, 115. Spread for Texas odds are minus 105.
Before we get to the last game, shout out to everybody over on X that's watching. Like majority of you watching over on X. Shout out.
There's a lot of you guys over there.
Last game of the day for us. Nationally, this is probably one of the bigger games for two reasons. Everybody keeps waiting for Texas A&M to become Texas A&M. Everybody's waiting on it. That's been the joke all over Twitter. Shout out Jared McCracken, a guy I've known since I was like 5 years old, literally.
What's up, Jared? What's cracking?
He asked me if I was down at the game. I had to text him and say, I'm a big sissy. Weather, I can't take it. I can't do it.
And that's what a fair weather fan looks like, friends.
I've had to work. And free food at his house.
I've had to work.
It's warm.
Games.
His wife is there.
Yeah,
I get it.
Point.
His bathroom's there. You don't have to share it with anybody.
Exactly.
100%. Texas A&M number 20 LSU. LSU's really playing not just for their season, but their head coach is probably playing for his job today.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I
like that.
That's a tough spot to be in. Everybody keeps saying, when is LSU going to wake up? When is LSU going to wake up? When is that offense going to start clicking? When is Garrett Nussmeier going to look like the preseason Heisman favorite that everybody thought he was? When is this going to work? If you're going to make it work, LSU, you got every opportunity because you got A&M coming into Death Valley at night. You need this game. Fans
way more than A&M.
Oh yeah, fans are going to be frothing at the mouth. They don't like A&M. If this one was in College Station under their lights, maybe a little bit different. But there's two different atmospheres at Death Valley. There is
daytime games, nighttime games,
and weird voodoo magic happens nighttime games in Death Valley under the lights at LSU. So
I'm assuming LSU's wearing their white uniforms too.
I would, whatever good juju you can drum up, LSU.
Oh no, I did it again. What's up? That reminded me. I'm just gonna stay zoomed in because it's that cool and important. You reminded me. The color on color jerseys. I love it. Shout out to Tennessee and Alabama. That game was cool to watch. The orange and the crimson tide.
Oh yeah, Ohio State, Michigan needs to do that every year. Home jerseys only. Yeah, every year. That's what they need to do.
Why not? What do I do, Stress?
I don't know. Try both hands, like pinching.
If you're watching this, this happened earlier.
Or maybe go together like this. I don't know. Maybe I didn't know what it was earlier. We just got lucky. Timed it right.
It's so hilarious.
Yeah, I think so. I didn't realize that this game was 6:30 kickoff in Baton Rouge, which makes sense. Like anytime you have a home game, especially against a top 5 team, you're going to want it to be a night game at LSU. Because I was leaning towards Texas A&M. They're 2.5-point favorites, away, which is kind of crazy, especially when your away game is in LSU.
Yeah.
But there's just something to be said about Death Valley at night. And it doesn't have anything to do with anything else on the field other than it's LSU at night. So give me the Tigers in this one. I don't know that it's going to be pretty, but I think their defense is going to be good enough to slow Marcel Reed down a little bit.
Yeah.
He's been one of my favorite quarterbacks in the SEC this year, just to watch, just in general. But, yeah, give me the Tigers in this one. I'm actually going to go in and change my pick.
Yep, same for me. I mean, obviously, I think none of us would disagree that A&M's the better team, but it's those things that stats sometimes can't account for, right? Like who needs it more? It's a night game. It's at Death Valley. LSU needs it more. Brian Kelly could be fired next week if they lose this game. It's that crucial, that important. So LSU fans are going to show up. They're going to be excited for it. I think the crowd and at nighttime, like you guys were talking about, there's two different types of games there. Day games, night games. That night game vibe, night game crowd's going to show up. I think it can affect A&M and get them off rhythm. Again, I think they need it more. So give me the Tigers, picking them.
Yeah, need to reach out to our boys down at Tingle & Co. and see how they're feeling about this game.
Yeah, I thought about sending them. I'll get in their Discord and ask how those guys are feeling. I know going into the season, this one was like marked on the schedule. They really wanted, this game. I think they probably still, I think nobody wants Brian Kelly there. I don't think there's anybody at LSU that's just like excited that Brian Kelly's there. I don't think they were excited when he came for the most part. He doesn't fit the culture. He fits Penn State's culture, but the problem is they haven't played good enough that I don't think he can get that job now. I don't think Penn State's going to go, Brian Kelly, let's bring this guy in, East Coast guy, let's bring him in. I don't think that probably happened. Yeah,
LSU's offense is going to have a chance to score some points this week. LSU dropped. Notre Dame scored 41 over Texas A&M. Let's see. Florida scored 17. Arkansas scored 42 last week. This could be a big chance for LSU's offense to actually look like the offense that we were expecting to see.
Yep. 100%. Real quick before we get out of here, other games that we're not picking but that are happening today that have some interesting things happening. BYU playing Iowa State. Big 12 still wide open.
Yeah.
As far as who's going to take that conference, so that game could have some implications there. Another Big 12 game. Baylor at number 21, Cincinnati.
Game.
Baylor's not bad. It's just that conference has done nothing but beat up on each other all season.
It's been eating itself.
So that game could be really, really interesting. Wisconsin at Oregon. Oregon really needs to just push the Indiana thing out of everybody's mind and then go and beat Wisconsin by 50.
Yeah, a lot of like FPI and BCS rankings right now still have Oregon as a top 3 team in the country.
I want to believe the Indiana game was an outlier. I want to believe that just things started going bad and, all of that. I don't know. We'll find out a lot. I think Indiana's got an interesting, fun game today that could be a little.
Yeah. The Big Ten game that I'm really excited about is Washington, Illinois.
I believed in Illinois. I think I still believe in Illinois, but Washington can score points.
That offense is awesome. Damon Williams, that quarterback is fun to watch. Tough to slow down.
Yeah, Illinois really needs to. If Illinois wins this game by at least like 10 or more, that's a really good win for Illinois today.
And it's in Seattle. That's just a place that Washington doesn't lose.
Yeah.
Yep.
They don't lose at home.
Memphis play today too at noon. That'll be a good game.
Oh yeah, go Bulls, baby.
Kentucky, Tennessee tonight, 6:45.
Big rival game.
Yeah, and Kentucky. If you're Kentucky, you feel good. Like you don't like the loss, but you played Texas. You did everything but win that game against Texas. You exposed to a lot of people. A lot of people were saying, a lot of coordinators that were already having success. You showed, hey, you don't have to have the roster of an Ohio State. You don't have to have the roster of an Oklahoma. You can take what works and what is working against Texas, and anybody can run that. That could make this really an interesting game.
Bush Handman needs to have a good day today, calling plays. That's what we need.
Be disciplined today. Is this one at Kentucky? So this one's at
Kentucky.
It's
a home game for Wildcats.
Shout out to the Wildcats. I like that game for them today. I'm not saying that they can win it, but I think it could be an interesting one. And then a game that's just a lot of fun. It doesn't matter at all, but Michigan State today.
Yeah.
That's a game that means a lot to Michigan State. Probably doesn't mean a whole lot to Michigan. But Michigan, you are ranked number 25. If you don't win this game handily, you will find yourself outside the AP top 25 probably on Monday.
It's happened before.
Yeah, 100%.
There was that year that Michigan State made it to the Big Ten. I think they went to the college football playoff that year. They won just 2 weird wins against Ohio State and Michigan that year.
Yep.
I don't see that happening this year, but.
And then last game with Big 12 implications, Houston at Arizona State. Big 12's become the most fun conference to watch this year.
It really has been.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, it
Texas Tech getting their first loss last week. I don't think we talked about that.
Yeah, we thought, earlier this season, like even a week and a half ago, we thought Texas Tech was going to be the team that's going to run away with the Big 12.
I thought they were going to be I thought Texas Tech could end up as a number 8 seed going into the college football playoff, and I wouldn't want to play them. Man, they can score points. Yeah. Who knows? Texas Tech, it's got Oklahoma State today. I don't see any way Oklahoma State keeps that thing close. So if you're Texas Tech, go in there, thump the living, or Oklahoma State coming in, thump the living crap out of them, get yourself, back into closer to the top 10 could be an interesting one. Really, there's not a whole lot of other games that are this is just a weird week. It's a weird week for games.
But I'm glad that we're getting more in conference matchups, so it can kind of set the AP polls a little bit more accurately. We can see more accurately where certain teams are at last week, this week. So, yeah, I'm glad to see more conference games coming out. We see who's flawed, who's not. See where everybody's kind of more accurately at. Get a better preview too of the college football playoffs, because I think predictions for college football playoffs start to come out Tuesday next week.
Yeah, first college football ranking I think is second week of November.
Yeah,
November 8th or something like that.
November.
I don't know. I can't remember. First CFP rankings. November 4th, yeah. Next Tuesday.
There we go.
Called it.
Not next Tuesday, the Tuesday after, next Friday. Or next Saturday.
Before we get out of here, next week going to be some very interesting matchups. Vandy's got Texas next week. Cincinnati's got Utah. Another Big 12 game that will be a barn burner to watch. Oklahoma has got to go to Tennessee next week. That could be interesting. Miami's got to play SMU. SMU plays well. It's a good football team.
Dude, yeah.
And then Florida, throw the rankings out, throw it all out. Georgia, Florida, I don't care who's ranked. I don't care what the spread is. That game.
There is no line. There's no Georgia, Florida line.
That's just a wild game.
Baby, you're tall.
They did break up.
Yeah.
I think.
I saw that coming.
And then Penn State, Ohio State, that was going to be going into the season. We're this is going to be a great game.
Ohio State might win that game by 50 next week.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
It's not going to be good. If you haven't yet, make sure to like and subscribe to us wherever you're watching us, whether you're on X, YouTube, or our Facebook page. Make sure to like and subscribe. Share it.
Definitely head over to YouTube and subscribe. We just hit 815 subs yesterday. Yeah. And we want to get to 1,000 subs before the college football playoff is here. So help us out.
Here's why. I need new hair extensions for this college football show, or I need my ends trimmed. So, help us out. We need the money. Strez needs a new Ohio State T-shirt. Aaron, he needs some new podcasting equipment. We got to keep this.
I definitely don't need that. There's the wife will in the chat be able to say he does not need another piece of podcasting equipment. Also, if you haven't yet, download Better. Go download the Better app, BETR, and use code WASH. You get a special promo and extra bonus on your first deposit. That also helps support the show, helps support the content. For all of you guys that have been using the app, we appreciate it. So download the Better app and use code WASHED and subscribe wherever you are.
I'm extremely jealous, by the way, of your eyebrows when you were doing your little thing a minute ago. I have like 3 on each side. Fun fact.
Oh, I just have one. It's just been kept up pretty well this week. Usually it's just connected right here, but
And if you wear glasses like I do, that just my glasses just happen to hide. I don't ever have to trim my eyebrows.
there you go.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be got some new content coming out this week. Plus, we'll be back next Saturday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Central for the Waterboys College Football pregame show, doing another slate of games and talking some of the biggest storylines. Once again, big games that we're watching today. 2 biggest games are going to be Ole Miss and Oklahoma at 11, Texas A&M and LSU at 6:30, and then Missouri Vanderbilt 2:30. Those are probably the 3 biggest games that'll be happening today, and we will be over on X tweeting about it, live tweeting during game. Have a fantastic rest of your Saturday. Appreciate y'all.